I had no concept of time. After shedding tears that never dried up and singing her lamentations, she silently got up. Turn your back to the space where the ring of light is about to disappear and start walking forward. So I did what I had to do and I was done. Then I reported everything I saw to my masters and bosses. He told me the details of what happened. Without sympathy or mercy, I thanked them for putting me in. I mourned for my faction mates who sacrificed themselves, however few. And I will never forgive a beautiful and ugly girl. I cried my lifelong friend alone. Buried in the first graveyard, where many adventurers sleep. She herself, who said goodbye to herself, wouldn't want to either. That's why I made a wish to the main god, left the city and headed for the sacred peak of the Elves, the Alf Mountains. No matter how much you collect, there are strangely few with your ashes. While wrapped in a clear, cold sky, high on a mountain, riding the ash in the wind. No graves were made. Or maybe not. It was the holy mountain of a silent clan, and I just sat there in silence for a while. The sun sets, the moon rises, and the sun reappears from the depths of the horizon again. It was then that I finally realized that I had been standing still the rest of the night, my eyes burning from the blinding morning sun. I climbed down the peak and ran back to town. She didn't help with rebuilding and cleaning up the city and was mean to her fellow family members. I think I did something. However, the senior human waves his hand as if nothing happened, saying, "Don't worry about it." A roommate I love yells, "I thought you weren't coming back." The girl I looked up to gave me a slight smile, "Welcome back." I had no concept of time. However, my body didn't stop moving to do what I had to do. I was making a new magical costume. It's like breaking up with who you used to be. I made a new wand. Combine your long wand with your short wand holding your agata. Don't give it back to her, don't turn it into memories. The dawn when the sun has not yet been seen. Alone in a dark room dressed in a magical robe, with a staff at her waist and her dagger. I cut the long, bright yellow hair. Loki family headquarters, House of Twilight. In the morning, the mess hall was full of excitement. Many members exchanged greetings, pulled out chairs and listened to the clink of silverware. Time has passed since all the destruction and the Loki Familia has become a part of everyday life. I'm trying to recover the scenery. Adventurers know that sitting around thinking about the reduced number of seats will not benefit their comrades in arms who have returned to the sky. Everyone is still stuck. As I hold an unhealed wound, I still smile happily and stuff my mouth with food. This is the time. I'm late. The double doors rattled. The moment everyone turned around, the cafeteria fell silent in shock. The one who opened the door and simply appeared was an elf girl. Lefiya. It was A's murmur. But she also doubted her own eyes. The clothes that envelop her delicate body are the pink battle clothes that are also characteristic of girls. It is not there. White and red-based magic clothes. A costume made by pouring magic power into every thread of fabric to make a wizard cry. The holy cloth of the fairy king of Riveria, the same magic item, although the material was different. Furthermore, a bracelet was placed on her right arm, which appeared to be a magic tool, and a white dress that covered the mid-thighs on both of her ski legs. 2 staves at the waist. Just like a swordswoman, she wore a new short and long staff on her belt. And what is inserted just behind the waist is a single dagger. Seeing that figure, the first words that came to A's mind were, "Samurai magic sword. Filvis Kalia white fire." The shapes mixed with the will of the white priestess and the silent passion of Lefiya's red. A magical garment that resembles her. Ace thought so. But, the Loki family members are not surprised because Lefiya has renewed her equipment. The climate is also different. Tiona, Tioni, Raoul, Anakiti and others from the family's second rank were stunned at that point. Lefiya cut her own hair in one swipe at home. The beautiful blonde hair that members of the same generation were jealous of is the girl's secret self. He must have been arrogant. Even Ace, who ignores her appearance, was captivated. Her long bright yellow hair, which was held back with a barrette, now has a neck. Short hair was short enough to be seen. No one can close their mouth. She was like a different person. Not only the outfit and hairstyle, but also the air that surrounds her body is softer than ever. Unlike before, it has the atmosphere of a clear spring. As she walks between the tables, no one speaks to her, only Loki seems amused. She whistled. Lefiya. Among the members who couldn't move, it was Riveria who got up. When she climbs up and stops in front, Lefiya stops too. Unless there is an emergency, all members have breakfast together as a family, it was the rule. Where did you go without contacting me? Riveria. The vice-captain has always been the vice-captain. Even if there is a complete change in appearance or atmosphere, it will not change your stance of scolding those who disturbed your discipline. Lefiya, on the other hand, had a slightly confused expression on her face. I left a message for Elfinia in my room. Elfie, whose name was mentioned, let out a maddened voice. As the members' eyes were focused on her, she said, speaking of which, I think there was a letter on the table. With a wobbly smile. Glancing at her roommate, Lefiya raised her thin eyebrows and obediently tilted her hips towards Riveria. I received a message from Miss Lenoa's familiar that the equipment I requested from a mage was ready, so I went to get it first thing in the morning. Neither jumping nor screaming when I am recognized for my failure with an auspicious attitude. Riveria sighs and returns to her seat saying, be careful from now on. The atmosphere of the members who were watching with bated breath involuntarily relaxed. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the large dining hall, which had been quiet before, finally regained its bustle. Lefiya cuts so fast. The demi-human was surprised. I've been there before. Is this what the gods say, image change? Anakiti and Tikhon eating at the same table, looking at Tioni who says this out loud. With the exception of Tiona, who fills her mouth with bread and salted meat, the reason I can't help but keep my voice low is because I can think of a reason why the girl cut her hair. Ace, who was sitting next to Tiona, also gave her a worried look. On the other hand, Lefiya didn't change her appearance and resumed her steps. Breakfast time is coming to an end. She refused to sit in an empty chair when most of the group had finished eating and their plates were empty. Ignoring all those curious looks and anxious murmurs. I go to a person as I decided in advance. Bete. The werewolf, with gray hair shakes and ears stand up. Bete, who was sitting on a chair impolitely, looked at the girl who was next to him with a carefree look. A combination that would never go together on the breakfast table. Most of the time, Lefiya usually eats with Ace or Elfie. Bete disliked Tiona and other loud talkers, and Bete took positions at the back of the dining room. Bete himself probably did not expect to be called by her. He turned to me with suspicious eyes. Raoul and Cruz, who were at the same table as him, also wore a clearly perplexed expression. Knowing or not knowing her intimate feelings, the girl opens her lips. Please teach me how to fight. And that offer again stole all the sounds. That was the murmur of glances. I feel it was my murmur. The cafeteria is shrouded in profound silence. As if to turn back time, all eyes are focused on Lefiya. Those who have stopped moving, those who suspect auditory hallucinations, those who open their mouths wide. While the members have various expressions, this time Finn and Riveria, Gareth and Loki were also surprised. In the next moment, it was Tiona who broke the silence. She let out a loud voice that shook the dining room, cleaned up all the breakfast she had eaten so far, and scrambled across the table to run to Lefiya. Why? Why the wolf? I misheard. Although Tiona was in a state of extreme confusion, she usually spoke through the voices of the members. Lefiya shows a slightly confused look at the tremendous curtain of swords approaching her. So you're not a master. I have Miss Rivera. But, I want to learn hand-to-hand combat with Bete. Or A's. Don't do that. Too much work. Don't refuse Lefiya's request, you stupid wolf. The screams of Tiona, who was busy with her confusion, flew back and forth between Lefiya and Bete.